Alright, hey guys, and welcome back. This is my review of Free Guy. Once again, I only do spoiler reviews, so if you guys are not reading the title, this is a spoiler review. Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds, man, I gotta say, this film was a really, really bad movie, but Ryan Reynolds is just so good that I can't help but like this film because of just his outstanding performance of playing this NPC character who comes to realize that he can be his own person, like his own identity, have his own mind, his own thoughts, and kind of the formation of an AI, like the first real artificial intelligence, as what they call it in this film. Now, as for the performance of the rest of the cast, I have a feeling that they really were not given the right dialogues. Like a lot of these actors and actresses, Millie, Comer, Taika Waititi, as we all know, it's actually directed by Sean Levy. Okay, Lil Ray Howery. This guy had a small role. Buddy had a really small role, but I think he played his part. I would have liked this guy to have a bigger role just because he's actually a pretty capable actor. Like, they could have given him more funny things to do, or more crazy things to do, honestly, because this was a comedy and action film, and I think this guy would have done really well in any of those places. um, Joe Keery does really well in terms of what he's supposed to fulfill, but once again, I feel that these characters were just not given enough dialogues in the right scenes. Like, the script and the writing was just bad, but in terms of the actors, they actually had a pretty good cast. Like, all of these actors by no means are bad actors, but for the fact that they were just not given enough of a role to play, I feel was just a bit upsetting. And Free Guy basically is a story of this video game in which there are players and there are NPCs, and these players basically are the ones who wear these sunglasses. So Ryan Reynolds is basically an NPC called Guy who comes to realize that he can actually choose to be his own person, and decides to take the sunglasses from one of the people wearing sunglasses, and ends up being a part of the game that he is supposed to just be an NPC in. So he's sort of playing the role as a player, whereas we who watch this or watching this film actually get to see a third person perspective where we see the players playing it from a computer, and we get to see the NPC sort of animated in the computer screen, as what a regular video game animation would be, meaning not that good. Like, it's made on purpose to be not that good, just to show you that they're playing a video game. Like, okay, this part is actually pretty good. Do they have a scene of there we go, like this. So it's made to look like the CGI is not that good on purpose, so that we can tell that it's a video game. And I like this. I like these gimmicks. I like these puns. I like all these memes that are going on. I like the fourth wall references, the pop culture references. All of these amazing things. And I'm a massive gamer. I'm a massive geek in terms of my knowledge of films and video games, like superheroes and all this stuff. But even for me, I felt that this was really cringy a lot of the time. Like, for those who don't know, it's really cringy. But even for those who know, it's pretty cringy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, for me, my favorite pop culture reference film ever made is Ready Player One. Ready Player One is one of the greatest movies for me because I'm a geek. Is it the greatest movie of all time? Perhaps not. But man, there's one pop culture bomb. Like, it's like a compact can of sardines with like a whale all in one. But this one though, with the Twitch references and the ninja dropping in to give some kind of puns and jokes and whatever, like, all of that felt like, okay, they're trying to do something with some pop culture stuff, but the writing and the story is just so bad that you don't really get enough of quality in terms of just the production value. And with the actors you have, the dialogues that they have is just so bad and so messy, and they show all these fourth wall scenes of kids playing, really in their mom's basement. Like, we get it, guys. We know you want to tell that all geeks are just these overgrown men who are fat and hairy who live in their mom's basement, but it's not the stereotypical case anymore. There's a lot of the time geeks look like Ryan Reynolds. I'm not even kidding. They look like this. Okay, this is what geeks look like today. They're the dads of today who have grown up. Or they look like this guy, like Steve Harvey from Stranger Things. Is it really Steve Harvey? I think it's Steve Harvey. But anyway, yeah, times have changed. But I think that the stereotypical nature is still there, which is why they pull these references to kind of tell you that, hey, this is what people still think of geeks, you know? And I like these shots where it shows like, you know, they try to keep it as inclusive as possible with as many different races, but they don't have to necessarily, you know, like make it that obvious. Like, we get it. I think you rather just give better roles to certain actors if you want to give more like inclusivity of various races or whatever. Like, I noticed that the main cast are all technically white people, right? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Now that I think about it. Yeah. Okay, anyway, probably I should not have pointed that out. Now it feels a little bit too obvious. Regardless, they're all great actors and they played their role the way they should, but the script itself was really bad. The story was really bad. And besides these four people, basically, you know, these two people, in-game characters, are being played by these two people in the real world. So these two people play. No, no, not really. Sorry. The girl is playing as this girl. This guy is a programmer who works in the company that develops the game, and they're both trying to fix or rather figure out what Ryan Reynolds' AI is actually doing in the game and why it's so intelligent. And once he comes to the realization that, once he's informed that he's actually an AI, and he finds out that his whole world, his whole life is a lie, he's actually part of like some Matrix level, you know, realization that it's actually all a simulation and whatever. It could have been done with a little more, you know, like awe, like a little more, you know, like amazement or intensity, or like, you know, something to show that Ryan Reynolds is really freaking out, because he can do that really well. But you know, they just kept it very subtle and very simple. And this guy's really funny. They should have just given him more things to do. Like, but he was a good character. As for the aspects in terms of CGI and the music is okay. They do have a lot of like hip and cool music and whatever. I think that's fine. But there's no like one scene where you're like, that's the scene for the film that makes it better than other films. Nah, there's no such scene. It's just everything is like been there, done that. We've seen that. You know, it's nothing really new. As for the CGI itself, is pretty good. CGI is pretty good. Yeah, you also have Pokimane appearing in one scene. I think they show a few different Twitch, you know, like Twitch streamers and whatever. So yeah, as for the CGI itself, it's pretty good. The CGI is as good as you would expect in a movie like this. I think the budget is pretty well defined. It's just that you know, it just lacks that one up against a lot of other films. As you can see, the CGI of the world building and the world destroying and all these things are done pretty well. And this Ryan Reynolds guy, I'm not sure who the bodybuilder is, but this guy does pretty well. Like, it's all Ryan Reynolds acting for sure, but the body language and the physical movement and all is done by another guy. And I think this, I don't know, some sort of put Ryan Reynolds' face onto him or something. I really want to know how they produce that you know, kind of merging of the two bodies or whatever. Yeah, the Free City is the name of the game, and there's a lot of cool action sequences as well. But you'll know, you know, when you watch it, to realize that it just doesn't have anything more than just being a comedy film. Like, some of the scenes were just so boring, especially the first half of the film. It's just so boring in terms of what they're trying to do. Like, Ryan Reynolds is running around, you know, leveling up and whatever. Like, it's okay for those of us who are gamers who watch this, because we know, like, this is what you actually do in a video game. But if you're trying to make everyone else watch it and sell this movie, I think they probably should make it more sort of relatable, you know. Like, even Ready Player One, as, you know, as intense as it can be for as a nerd sort of, or rather geek sort of movie, this one just didn't do enough, I feel, in terms of its emotional aspect, the weight it can carry, the meaning of this some sort of a villain, because this guy is the head of the production company, or rather the gaming company that builds this Free City game, and they build it off the AI of the protagonist. And so he tries to claim back that their AI engine, he and Millie's AI engine, are the ones that are used to actually, build this game. So they are after a lawsuit against this guy who's some sort of a villain, and this guy is after destroying an AI. Like, it just feels a bit disjointed. It would have been cool if Ryan Reynolds was actually involved in the official plot, where he uses his AI powers and go Matrix to go and prove to the world that the AI engine was actually built by the protagonist. I think that would have probably sort of brought him, like, completed his purpose of being the AI to realize that all this is happening. Because he is the AI built off the code, so obviously he should have some ability to access his own code once he's intelligent enough. So they could have used that as a way for him to actually help the protagonist solve their lawsuit and prove that this game was actually theirs. Instead, he relies on their hacking ability, like the ability of what's this guy's name again? I keep forgetting his name. Basically, the protagonist guy, Steve Harvey guy. Keyes. There, he relies on Keyes' ability to hack the game to provide him a way to go and reveal that the original coding is actually done by Millie and Keyes. And the thing is that they also, like the Antoine and the game production company, apparently don't realize that Keyes is actually just sitting in a corner in the company somewhere with a laptop, actually counter hacking whatever is being whatever is being worked on. And this Mouser is sort of like the other like semi-villain as well. Like, the villains are not intimidating in any way, don't get me wrong. It's Taika Waititi, there's nothing scary about him. He and Antoine and Mouser are the two villains who try to cut off Millie and Keyes from accessing their code and whatever to prove it's their game. But I wish that Guy actually played a role as the AI to sort of help them go against these people. Like, they sort of shut off Keyes maybe from hacking, and then Guy actually can show that he's the AI, and his whole purpose, like in his life, was to help these two people in real life fulfill their their right of ownership to this code and this program, and to Guy. So yeah, they sort of had a little bit of like two separate stories going on, didn't really connect in any proper way. And yeah, I felt that it just fell short in that sense. The rating on IMDb is 7.3. I think it's way too high. There were times this movie can feel a little bit too boring as well. But once again, it's not a bad movie by any means. Oops, did I misclick something? Oh, I think I went for The Conjuring, something I reviewed a little while earlier. So yeah, let me just pull up the rating for this film. There we go. Okay, there you go. It's a 4 out of 10 film, and I think it's a decent rating. For me, it's a decent rating, because once you watch the film, you realize that it's very forgettable. It's going to be one of those like sort of B movies that people just forget about, because there's really nothing outstanding about this film. Like, any movie that I want to rate above 5, I would expect people to remember those films. Like, no one is going to be talking about Free Guy in like 2 or 3 years. No one is going to be talking about it. They'll be like, oh yeah, remember that terrible movie Free Guy? That's the only reason they reference it. Remember how horrible it was in Free Guy? I remember this buff version of Ryan Reynolds in Free Guy. Remember Ryan Reynolds? That's it. That's the references, right? Everyone else is going to be forgotten, because the roles that they were given, the dialogue they were given, the script that they were given was just so bad that there's no reason to remember this film for anything other than just this funny performance from Ryan Reynolds and some sort of a game-like movie. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, that's about it from me. Thanks for watching. How do you rate Free Guy? I think you guys already know the answer to that, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.